Okay, let's take a look inside the trunk. First of all, the key release works fine. And we'll open it up. Still a little water because I just washed it. And I have a little cleaning materials in there, but the trunk is nice and clean. Looks very stock and very ordinary. However, I did some pretty trick stuff in here. Let's take a look first of all at the spare tire is in here and intact, and there's a cloth included from Lincoln so that if you have to change the tire, you don't get your knees dirty on the ground. I don't believe the spare tire has ever been used. There's the jack and its handle, everything as it should be. Behind what looks like the ordinary back of the trunk is actually a subwoofer enclosure, which houses a 12-inch Hyphonic subwoofer, and the subwoofer enclosure was built by me especially to fit this car, and it fits wall to wall and top to bottom in there, so it uses up the least amount of space, and it's a ported enclosure, so it's maximum efficiency. You're going to see this car just sounds phenomenally good, along with the amplifier and subwoofer enclosure, which are back there. Also in the front doors, we have replaced the speakers. You can see the yellow in there showing up. That's because these are Lightning audio speakers, and they don't look horribly yellow in the car. I'll show you the other door. You really don't notice them, especially normally, but if you look for them, there you are there. And what they do is they have now a true tweeter. And the last part of the stereo system, of course, being the head unit, and it's been replaced with this Boss unit, which is pretty boss. Let's turn on this power here. And what I like it is no more outdated CDs, because CDs would take a whole trunk full of them to fit the same music as on one SD card. So this has the SD card, and it just stays in there. You don't even notice it's there. Or if you want to use a memory stick, there's the USB slot, and you could put that in there as well. Or if you want to plug an iPod in, it has an auxiliary input for that as well, or for some sort of hands-free phone device as well. If we turn the power on, and it takes a second, and it reads the card, and the automatic. And it just gets phenomenally loud. Everyone in the neighborhood will be hearing you drive by if you decide to leave the car loud. But it's got the display. It'll tell you whatever music's playing, and it also plays, of course, typical AM, FM. You can advance 10 songs if you want, and a little punk rock coming there. Advance 10. That's 10 songs. Or if you want to advance one song, you just advance one song, and you can. How appropriate. Here's this, and here was one of my cars with the boom.
Well, I like all kinds of guys. What happened? How about the ones we especially like? Which ones? You know, the ones with the cars that go.
Bass capability, and there's a lot. Okay, as I'm beginning to run out of daylight, I think I better do a walk around on the car quickly. So, you can see here, start with the tail, and water on there because I just washed it. But there are no dents or dings or anything like that. Paint job is fresh. The car did not have any bad body damage. However, the clear coat, which is typical on these cars, was peeling off everywhere, and it took an awful lot of work getting that all removed so we could do a decent paint job on the car. And the wheels still look pretty good. They have some corrosion on them, as you might expect on any wheel of this age, and to re-chrome them would be obscenely expensive for a car being sold at this sort of price. So, but they're certainly plenty presentable, and I don't think you can pull up much of any place with anybody looking at this car and anything thinking other than it's just, the car just screams money when you look at it. And we come to the front, and we have the front here, and the again, everything's being repainted or repaired, all of these chrome trim strips that you see going around the car everywhere, which are right here, they turn yellow with age. They're actually made out of plastic, and they look horrible. And although difficult to find, I found all the correct trim for that, and it's all been replaced fresh so that the car has a nice new appearance. Because otherwise, even if you paint the car, you wind up with a very outdated looking car. It just looks, like it's been sitting around for a long time. The other thing common on older cars you'll see is clouded headlights. The headlights get all deteriorated. They can be restored with a whole lot of work, and these have been. They have all the plastic's been polished out so that it looks like new. And all the glass is in good shape. Common on these cars, the window strip along here gets all wavy and ugly and rots. And unfortunately, the new weather strip isn't available from the factory from this. You have to buy a complete window, which is over $1,000 to replace. So I did replace this rubber with a universal strip. There are no leaks or anything. That was never the issue. It's just the ugliness of it. And this lower portion is impossible to replace. But here, this has all been replaced. And at the corners, there's a little bit of silicone because I had to make it look like it was joined properly. But really not anything that's a problem or anyone really notices if you didn't know it was there. And moving to the inside of the car, once again, the key fob functions to unlock. And there we go. And these seats have memory. They pull back automatically to let you get in the car and come in. And beautiful black leather interior. We have rear seats, and I have a bottle of lemonade back there, but you can see when you put the seat forward, it automatically goes forward. You let it back, and it automatically retracts to the position that it's set in. You have two driver's settings can be stored for the seats over here. So you just hit set, and then you would press whichever driver, and it will store the memory for that driver's settings, which are important because you have a 6-way seat for the passenger and the driver. And with all the directions that this seat moves in, it can get a while to figure out. You have the lumbar support, which blows up a balloon in the back or deflates it. You have tilt the back forward, tilt the back back. You have whole seat forward, whole seat back. Rear portion of the seat up, front portion of the seat up, whole seat up, whole seat down. So there are many adjustments, and that's for the passenger as well as the driver on this car. So pretty neat. And you've also got up here, let's see, the hood release, and that functions in the braking, typical. As we come in, this is where the fuse panel is for this car. Everything complete as it should be. And steering wheel. Cars, of course, equipped with all the options you would expect on a Lincoln, cruise control, and it has a tremendous readout here which will tell you the conditions of everything going on inside of the car. Turn it on. I close the door so it stops dinging. And it will say door ajar, and then you have a readout here. And the readout will tell us everything we have. Hey, let's start the motor here. And it comes up, and there it'll have your economy. So I've been averaging 21.6 miles per gallon on this tank full of gas. Of course, I'm not moving, so my miles per gallon at the moment are 0. Status, 11 gallons till empty. You can hit the range switch, 211 miles till empty. You've got a compass. When you hit the system check, it'll go through all the systems of the engine and tell you how everything is. And what you should expect. And then that's it. And it went back to the last setting we had. If we want to push clock, we can reset the clock if we want. Just hit clock, and then we'll only have the clock if you want to have that. Typically, I like to leave this button on the range just to make sure that I know how far I can go before I run out of gas. The glove compartment opens as it should. Got a little hydraulic delay on it. Everything works. The light comes on. The air control system, usually you'll just set it over here to automatic, and then it will automatically turn on the air or the heater or whatever you need. If you decide that the way the automatic isn't figuring it out the way you like, you have your choice to have it go to, right now it's setting it's a little too warm in here, so it turned on the air just now, and I'm going to turn down the fan just a little bit so you can override whatever it decides it needs. It decided, well, it's way hot in here, so it decided to turn the air on full blast. So you can set it though to max AC, vent, the panel on the floor and defroster, or just the defroster alone. Below that we have a switch to turn on the rear defroster. It doesn't do that automatically. And we have the traction assist override, which I can't imagine when you would want to override it, because it requires so much power that if you leave that off and you step on the gas, it'll just kind of stand still spinning the tire around. So you can leave that on and it does just fine, and then it just takes off like a bandit. Over here we've got our, this doesn't open that smoothly, and I really don't care because I don't smoke, but there's the ashtray, and then we have the cup holder, and we have the general junk collector in the car. I got the toothbrush and my sunglasses in there. And back here we have on the center console the second outlet. I use that usually to charge cell phone and whatnot. The back of the seats have a nice pocket to hold everything. The pennies down there don't come with the car. You have rear speakers, many lights that come on. I open the door and you'll see it has a courtesy light up there and courtesy lights there, as well as the overhead and back there, and they are all functioning. The let's show that the windshield wipers function. Turn that on, and windshield wipers function, and the timer functions, and all of that. The headlights, the nice thing is you will forget to ever turn on your headlights when you get in another car, because everything is automatic. If you just leave it set on off and you never touch it, the headlights will just come on when they're needed and off when they're needed, and you never have to touch a thing, and everything, the car just knows what to do, which is really nice. You have the electric mirrors, and they work. Let's see, it's set to the right one now, so let's look at the right one, and I will hit the button, and you can see it move side to side, and up, and down, and we'll switch it to the left mirror, and we'll show that one functions. It goes up, and down, and left, and right, and if you put it in the middle, then it has no settings. If you accidentally hit it, it doesn't go all over the place. The door locks function, lock, so you go down and up, and down, and up, and the windows function. Here is the driver's, has an automatic feature. You just press it once quickly, it automatically lowers all the way, and we bring it back up. Oops, and the water from washing the car. And the passenger window down, and passenger window up. As we shift into drive, you'll hear boom, into reverse. You'll hear the motor go down a little in RPM. Everything works fine there. We'll get out for a spin in a moment. Let's put the lights on manually just to do a walk around and demonstrate that all the lights are indeed functioning. So we have the tail lights are all on, and the license plate lights, if we can see it, is on, and the headlights, running lights, those are on. One neat feature, if you turn the turn indicator, this light comes on only when you're making a turn in that direction. Let me show you. Hit the stock. Now we have the left turn indicator on, and you'll see that that light is now on, as well as the turn indicator flashing. And we'll check the rear turn indicator, and it's functioning. And we'll turn the other turn indicator, side turn indicators on, and we'll go to the right turn indicator and up to the front, and we have the turn indicator flashing, and of course the side turn light on. And I think the last lights to check would be our high beam and low beam. So let's do that and bring that down and put it on high beam. And as we come around the high beams, we'll see that now we have both high beams on as opposed to the low beams.